Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a little bit of time today. It's Sunday. I'm going to be drilling and bolting on the brackets. You see I put a couple tacks on the top so that way they stay together. Axle is under it. The only thing it's waiting is those brackets to be bolted to the frame. I'll put the trailing arm on, coils, and then that'll get us to the point where I could probably put a little bit of weight on the truck to get the ride height and put the track bar on. I still have to plate and bolt the steering box, but I'll get you guys set up with the little time lapse here, and I'm gonna start drilling. All the bolts are in. I have 2 bolts on the bottom side. Man, I forgot how much I dislike drilling frames. This one definitely kicked my butt. Tore up my hand. But it's on. Got my helper. Say hi.
Hi.
But I'm just gonna give you guys a quick update on where we're at. The axle is in. You may ask why the trailing arms are a different color. They're just here for mock-up. I have 4-link coming for the truck that I'll be putting on after it gets powder coated. But last couple of videos you've seen where I had all this taken off. It was just bare frame. These are the 4 holes that I was talking about that are in almost in line. Here's another hole, you can almost see straight through it. I'll take a quick walk. But those are the holes that I'm talking about that almost line up from, you know, 73 all the way up to 2016. They're pretty much all the same. So here's the old coil buckets. You can see here's a bolt here and 2 here. You can see the indent here, and there's 1 here. So these 2 right here are already in the frame, and these 2 are already used for the old coil buckets. And it pretty much, I mean, you have to over them out a little bit, but after you over them out a little bit, or run a 1/2-inch drill bit through them, they self-align, and then you put half 20 or coarse thread grade 8 bolts, and that's your end product. You can see I got some bolts underneath, and then I didn't want to take a video of me drilling for the past 3 days on this frame. I totally forgot how annoying and time consuming it is, but these are all drilled grade 8 bolts. There's 2 on the bottom. One thing I do want to point out is from this frame It's a 79. My green truck frame is a 75, I believe. It didn't line up as perfect as my green truck frame. I had to put a spacer in the back because the frame didn't swoop down as the other one. But all in all, it turned out good. Just make sure you line it up with this first bolt. And then when you go to drill it, make sure that it is perfectly straight up and down. So put a degree finder, get a 90 degree straight up and down, because I've noticed that these old frames, they do like curve in. So instead of straight up and down, they curve in, and that will mess up your brackets. Here's the other side. You see I only got the 2 bolts in here. It's permanently bolted. I have to drill these 2. I just ran out of energy. I have a mag drill, but you can't physically put it up on the frame. It hits the body. I mean, if the body was off the frame, it would be a lot easier, but it's all done by hand. These drop brackets are because with the stock coils, this frame has less of a hump than a Super Duty, so it's more straight. So it would actually give you about a 4-inch lift with the stock coils. So in doing so, the stock mounting location kind of puts your caster off, so that you'll find that the steering is pitched forward and your tires are actually steering into the ground. So if you put this drop bracket, I think I got that off eBay, I don't know, $100, you get 2 of them. It corrects your caster, and your steering wheel or your tires will steer more in a correct 0 to 2%, whatever it is. But it's a lot easier to steer. You'll find that if you don't use these and you don't slot these trailing arms to get your correct caster, you're going to wear out the front tires. But other side note is, due to the frame being narrower, you'll see that these trailing arms actually bend in a little bit. There is bushings on the axle and there's bushings on the trailing arm. The bushings will take up that difference. I've seen guys where they move the bracket outside of the frame. I don't think that's necessary, especially you have these big bushings on the axle for if you're going to be doing off-roading or sled pulling or what have you. I don't think it makes much of a difference unless you have some serious Baja truck that has extreme travel, that you mind if it might give you a little bit difficulties. But for regular drag race truck, tow truck, sled pull trucks, I don't think there's going to be any noticeable difference. That, and I have a 4-link coming that have the heim joints. So the heim joints will take up any difference in width, and then the bushings will take up the front. You can see here the same thing on this side. This one's almost perfect. This was that wasn't drilled. That was these are both factory Super Duty and factory 79 holes in the frame that almost line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up a little bit of metal shavings, dirt underneath the truck, and then I'm going to get the coils and the isolators, put them in the truck and jack it up, maybe put some wheels on it. I know I don't have my track bar on it. I just want to see around about what the ride height is going to be. I have just spare tires. I don't have my dualies adapters on, so I'm just gonna put my spare tires on for the 8x170, and then that'll give me an idea how high it'll sit. Alright, call me what you will, but I gotta clean these up. I can't put these on here. Man, look how many cobwebs. Look how dirty. Rust. No condition for a king dent. believe whenever I painted these, I had them on cardboard, and since they were wet, it, I don't know if you can see, it actually stuck to the cardboard. So I sanded them. I'll just put a quick coat on them and then throw them on. Before I jack this up anymore, I'm gonna get 2 ratchet straps and crisscross them so that way the axle can't move side to side, because obviously the track bar is not even hooked up, and I don't want the truck to kind of lean one way and fall off the jack. Truck is supported by the axle. Now you see this coil is kind of like not straight. So what that means is these coils are either completely roached out. I know that they came off of a service truck and it might have had a plow on it. And or my brackets for the back are too much of a drop, and the axle actually needs to be tilted forward. So what I'm actually debating on is if I order like 2.5-inch lift coils, that'll correct that because it'll push it down further. But that means I'd probably have to run like 37s, which I can do. I'm just not sure what direction I want to go with the truck. It is going to be used to tow, so I don't know. Either 4-inch lift, I'll correct the coils that are on it with 35s, or it'll have an additional 2.5 in the front and run 37s. So I don't know. I gotta think about this one. I didn't take into consideration that the coils would be kind of bowed like that. I could always take the brackets off, order smaller ones, because I think there's like a 6-inch. I can order a 4-inch drop, and then that would correct my coil situation. But I might have to think on this.